yeah. But it's always all like squished in there.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a busload. Oh, apparently he doesn't signal to start. Alright. Okay,
Yeah, here we go.
game on.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Does it bother you to hear like nail file?
Nah, you're good.
Okay. Well, I just have a couple little hangnails that I need to file my nails. And I
Oh
thought,
yeah, no, you're good.
While I'm just sitting here,
You got nothing better to do, huh?
yeah, I might as well go ahead and just file them.
No, you're all good.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I have a bag of pie chews, or some little snacks if you want some.
Oh, thank you. You came all prepared, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna sit here for 2 games.
Oh yeah, you bring
I've
your
done this
snacks and
long enough.
everything. That's
Yep.
a good idea.
You got Pop-Tarts, I have little Haribo gummy bears.
Gotta munch on something.
That's true. These new, well, I guess they're not new, they're just the first time I've tasted them. They're rainbow sherbet,
Oh,
pie chews,
there's a combination, huh?
blue raspberry, and the blue Hawaiian, but this rainbow sherbet one, they're really good. If you'd like to try some.
You know, Kim got up, made me breakfast this morning after we did a little yoga, so I'm in good shape right now.
Oh, that's.
But I'll be
that's
hungry
awesome.
before too long.
Okay, well, those
Try
are my
one.
snacks for
That's the
today.
go-to right there, that new flavor. Whoa!
Do you guys do yoga at the house?
We do.
You do?
She probably is qualified to be an instructor, but she just hasn't taken all the classes, so, yeah, so
Oh.
we used to go to the rec center, 5:30 Friday mornings. Tammy Morlock did it then,
Uh-huh.
and then about a year or so ago, 2 years ago now, they just canceled the class because there were so few.
Oh.
So we just do it at home now.
That's nice. I have been thinking about taking yoga or Pilates, and
Yeah,
but I wasn't sure who did it. I do think they do it down at Escape
okay.
Day Spa, but
There's, Kim goes Monday, Wednesday, I think it's 9 at the rec center. Tammy, does it then, but, yeah, I do it once a week. I do like 3 days of lifting and 3 days of cardio and then yoga one day.
mhm.
And usually it's Saturdays because those mornings, there's always something going on, so,
yeah.
we just get up early and do that. But it's really helped me, especially since I've had hip surgery and getting
Mhm.
that back into shape.
Yep. Good.
And you get older and just get so tight and stiff
Yep.
and everything
That's-
hurts and
That's
Yeah.
more along the lines of what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Is just.
good stretching and,
Mhm.
boy, I'm in trouble here, I think. Oh, good job. Yeah, it's really helped with the flexibility there.
Yeah, I'll bet it has. Did you have a hip replacement?
Yeah, I had my first one 15 years ago,
Did you?
and then Dr. Pedri did my right hip in November.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, my dad.
so I've got 2 now.
Yep, my dad has had both. He had both of his knees done. He got those done at the same time,
Oh, wow.
and then he had one hip done, and then the other hip done, and now he's had shoulder replaced.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the hips are pretty much a piece of cake. I guess the knees are a little bit tougher to rehab.
He did pretty good. He's a pretty good patient. I glad that he's done so well with them. But yeah, he just had his shoulder replaced the 1st of March.
So you're still doing some rehab. You have it done here?
No, in Salt Lake. They're in Salt Lake.
Mm. Yeah, I heard so many good things about Dr. Peter. I was like, oh, you know what?
And you,
Give it a shot.
you liked him?
Yeah, I mean, he was, you know, I told him, I said, you're gonna be hard to hold me back. So I said, I wanna be able to rehab and get moving again and
Yeah.
get going. And so, yeah, he gave me some slack and let me do some things.
Good.
And yeah, it was really good. I mean, of course, they get you up so fast anymore.
Yeah, right out.
Like 5 hours after he came in to see me, you ready to walk? Yeah, here's the walkers, take
Yeah.
off.
And I think they found that really, well, of course, they give that deep, block now too.
Yeah,
So that seems to help because then it doesn't, hurt quite as bad. So then you're kind of babying it. I think it took my dad's about 3 days to wear off on his shoulder.
yeah. Nope.
Nope, inside, yeah.
Oh, look what went in.
Yeah, I thought it did too. I saw that net kind of move.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was the black net instead of the orange net. But yeah, he was really good and got me up moving around and made me spend the night. I was kind of hoping I'd get to go home. So I drove the nurses crazy all night. I'm up with my walker up and down the aisles, the hallways. Aren't you going to sleep? I can't sleep. I said, I'm not too hyped up, I guess. So every couple hours I'd get up and get on the walker and take a couple laps around the nurses station there. They'd be like, you again? Yeah, me again.
And you stayed the night at the hospital up here?
Yes.
Sylvia, Jill, do you have a copy?
They did the surgery about 11 a.m.
The coolers over there by the teams do not have water in them, all they have is ice.
About 11 o'clock. And
Yes, where's the
I
water?
was, I think I was back in the room by 3 or 4,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And then he came in and saw me at 5. And I asked him, "Can I go home?" He goes, "No." He goes, "I want to, make sure you can urinate. Want to, watch your vitals through the evening, just to make sure."
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So then he came in about 7:38 in the morning. How do you feel? Good. You ready to go home? Yep. He goes, "Why don't you have breakfast first, then we'll get all the paperwork going." So, it's cool now. It's been so long since I've been in the hospital. They give you a menu for
Yeah,
the
that you can
meals.
order- yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take one of those
You don't
and one
just
of
have to
those
eat, yeah.
and one of those and
I've heard that they've got a new chef at the hospital.
oh yeah. It's like 2 cups of coffee, please. And,
Good copy.
I was wondering, cause did Casey take care of you? Casey Shoemaker now, but Casey Pomeranke?
no, I don't think so. It was actually the morning was Monica Bennett, Todd Bennett's
Oh,
wife.
okay.
No, I don't.
She works grays up on Med Surg
Oh, okay.
floor.
Yeah, she
So-
may have been on
Yeah,
or during that time.
they, they just work 3/12s, and so,
I think this was a Wednesday. And yeah, that's right, it was 12 hours, because I remember talking to him about, hey, when you gonna be on, when you gonna be off.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, Casey works on, Med Surg floor, and Abby is an RN up on OB.
okay, I think I knew that.
Yeah. Her and Casey graduated together, which was kinda cool.
Yeah.
And then Kristen, she graduates this in May. She, just got her master's in, education, so
Oh, nice.
she's gonna be the new 5th grade teacher at Pilot Butte when they just got funding
Nice.
for her.
Yeah.
So she's pretty excited about that, and then Lindsay will graduate in the fall with her forensic science
Wow, that's cool.
degree. She loves it.
Wow, yeah, I bet that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. She went into the biology side of it. She wasn't crazy about the chemical and, being
Chemistry part of it,
yeah,
yeah.
but she really likes the biology part of it. She did an internship at the state forensic lab and crime lab.
Is that
She loved it.
Cheyenne
In Utah.
or Utah?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's at UVU.
Yeah, I had this other one done in, 15 years ago, so,
Yeah,
in Salt Lake by Dr. Mariani, and, the thing I remember about that, the rehab was very similar. I think this rehab was a little bit easier on me, but I think since I've been retired, I've been working out more.
oh,
and
yeah,
I think I might actually be in better shape now than I was, 15
yeah,
years ago.
yeah,
Because I have time to do it, and, I can, I don't have to worry about getting to work, I don't have to worry about,
right.
taking kids here or there or whatever,
Right,
and I actually think this rehab went easier and faster. And
Than
the
the
thing I
last one.
really remember, when I came out of surgery down there in Salt Lake, it seemed to me like about 3 days where I was just brain fogged, and I had gone back to work,
Yeah.
after about 4 days, and, I'm talking to parents, and I'm thinking, gosh, what have I
What
said,
yeah.
And with this one, I came out of it, and right there in the recovery room, I felt like I was sharp, and I knew where I was at and what I was doing, so I don't know if it's just different amounts of
Yeah.
anesthesia, or different kind, or
Right,
different method of administering it, but, I told Dr. Peter, I said, man, I was, I felt
feel great,
alert
yeah,
when I came out in the recovery room, and, there was times, days later, I'm at work, and I'm thinking, man, you gotta get your brain turned
Yeah.
on here, cause you're not doing very well. To the point where after about a week, I was a little bit worried, I'm like, man, something happened,
Happened, or
during
did it-
surgery
yeah.
to my brain? And it took me about 5 days, 7 days, I think, to really come out of it.
really,
Yeah, I was just,
that's quite a
and
while.
not bad, but
Yeah.
just, I'd have to rethink stuff like, wait a minute, oh yeah, that's how we did that, and, but yeah, this one, it seems like I came out of it, and I felt good, and I was alert, and minimal pain. I took a couple pain pills through the night, mainly because I wanted to sleep. I couldn't get to sleep,
Nice.
and so I called the nurse's station. I said, hey, do you have anything that, just kind of knocked me out a little bit? I want to sleep. I can't get comfortable. And she goes, well, the only thing, here's the list of medications the doctor's approved. We can give you a pain pill, that'll make you sleep. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, so
Yeah.
they gave me one like at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was able to sleep. But it's like, yeah, just give me a little knockout drop,
yeah,
something.
yeah,
I don't need
just
the,
something to
don't
put
need
you
the
to sleep.
drugs, I
Yeah.
don't need the oxycodone or whatever they give you. Just,
Mhm.
give me
The hard
something
stuff,
to,
just-
make me calm down a little bit and get to sleep. And then the worst part was when I got home, and they give you this list when you check out of all these medications, and we went to Walgreens and we picked them up, and boy, I got them all lined up, 3 hours, 4 hours, once a day.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm going through them, and about 3 days after the surgery, I was just feeling like my gut was swelling up, and I couldn't go to the bathroom, and Kim was like, well, are you taking that stool softener on that list? I said, I don't know, I've got them all.
All lined
Yeah,
out,
let me look.
yeah.
Walgreens hadn't provided me with the stool softener.
Oh, so then the pain
And-
meds were causing it.
Yeah, and
yes.
so, I guess I was dehydrated, and
Mhm.
it took me like another couple days, and I was in drastic pain, in fact, I called the doctor, and he was, yeah, we prescribed them, and why didn't he get them, and that was like on a weekend. So, trying to get a hold of him, and trying to get a hold of his nurse, but that was by far the worst part of the whole surgery, and that was because of a screw up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, not
And,
because of the
And
procedure.
I got nobody blaming myself. I didn't look at the list, I did.
Just
Okay,
line them out,
Yep,
yeah.
these are the pills they gave me, boy, I had them lined up, and take this one at 10, 2, tomorrow, And yeah, Kim was like, well, so where's that stool softener? I don't know, and she lined them up, she goes, you're missing a set of pills.
Huh,
I felt it before I learned it.
yeah, exactly.
But so, yeah, file that back in the memory bank if I ever have surgery, but make sure you get some of those,
Mhm.
get them in you, and
Get going on
oh
them.
man, yeah, that was, and Monica Bennett told me too, she make sure you take that stool softeners, and yeah, okay, right,
Mhm. But if you don't
Yeah.
get them, then,
Sure enough, I think I had 7 pill containers and 8 on the prescription list, and that was
that was
the
one,
missing
yeah.
dog, yeah.
Huh. When they did, this was my dad's first shoulder replacement, but they actually turn, when they do when they put the new one in, they turn it around.
Hmm.
And they put the rotator cuff on, or the ball on the outside of the rotator cuff on the inside, whatever.
So it's like backwards,
It's
huh?
opposite,
Really?
yeah, and
Huh.
they found that for replacements works awesome. He won't be able to fully extend his arm straight up,
Yeah.
but you know, it'll be close.
Yeah.
And they said that they found that works really well for people that have shoulders replaced.
Well, when I hit this hip I had done 15 years ago, was starting to wear a little bit. I remember the doctor told me, probably 15 to 20 years. And so I had Dr. Petrie look at that, and he did a blood test, and sure enough, I've got chromium ions in my blood from the metal
from
on
the
metal rubbing.
Oh.
So he's monitoring that. I had to do a CT scan. That showed everything's still pretty good, but
Oh, good.
he's a little concerned about the high level of metals in
Yeah.
my bloodstream. So we got to kind of monitor that, and he may have to replace the replacement.
Huh. Was it a total replacement?
Yes, down into the femur and then the ball and socket joint or whatever they call it there.
This last time that my dad had his hip replaced, and how they go in an x-ray and,
Right.
to make sure where to set it. Well, when they did that right before my dad's surgery, he came out and said, "Ron, when did you break your femur?"
I didn't know that.
And he said,
Yeah,
I did.
yeah.
He said, "Oh, you have a good break." And he said it was old, but he said it healed nicely. He said, "But how are you not in any pain? How do you not know that?" And Dad said, "I have no
Ah,
He said, "I have no idea. I broke it." He broke it right across the
come
hip
on,
right here.
boys.
Wow. Yeah, when this one, the new one started hurting, I went in, I started with Dr. Oliver, let him look at it, and they injected me for a while. That didn't work at all, where they stick I think it's some cortisone or something in.
Mhm.
They said it was gonna last like 4 weeks to 6 weeks. It lasted about a week.
Oh,
But anyway, when I first had this left one done 15 years ago, that doctor said, "What did you do to your right hip?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "That one looks pretty bad." He goes, "Did you have like a catastrophic injury, a car accident?" I said, "No." I said, "I played college football. I never remember hurting it." He goes, "That one's going to need to be taken care of at some point." So he saw that like 15 years
wow.
ago. Same kind of thing. I had no idea.
Uh-huh.
That looks like it was a major,
Yeah.
contusion or something on there. And I said, I would have remembered that. So it must
Right.
have just been the wear and tear, of playing and
Yeah.
working out, and all that. I don't know, but so that one's been kind of there. But so you just got to kind of monitor it. At least it appears by the CT scan that it's not too bad now.
Good.
So hopefully I can get.
Does it hurt?
It doesn't. Once in a while I get, what's really strange with hips, and I don't know if you're Dan bitching it, but I never had pain anywhere in here. It's always in the groin, like you pull the groin running,
Uh-huh.
So this one, the old one, is starting to hurt just a little bit, so I
Yeah.
think, but
Wearing
that's
out.
really weird, I always thought, well, if you had hip problems, it could
Be
be,
here,
it's gonna be in
yeah.
the rear, or, in the back, or something.
Right.
And mine have always been in the groin, and Dr. Peter was like, yeah, that's usually where most people,
Start to feel it.
yeah.
Mm.
And I told him when I went to see him this time, I said, I want to have the surgery because I can't do what I normally want to do.
Right.
And, when this one gets like that, then it'll be
Yeah.
time to have it done.
And that's good that get them done while you're young.
Yeah.
Nick's dad, Joe Goich, he went probably 10 years just in excruciating pain. We couldn't talk him into going and getting his hip done, kept telling him, it's not gonna be any easier when you get older, and it's gotta be replaced. And
Yeah.
so then Dr. Peter replaced his hip.
Oh my God.
Last year.
He's probably really, really good. He's
He's-
happy with it.
Yeah, he's very thankful with it, but
I probably went a year, or maybe a little bit more past what I should have.
yeah,
Just because, I'm doing this, or we're going to see kids and the
Yeah.
grandkids, and I don't have time,
Sorry
And
for
then-
the recovery.
yeah, finally it got so bad, and, it was like, I just gotta get this done. And then they'd injected me in like August, and they have to wait 3 months before they can do surgery after that.
Once they inject,
Yeah,
oh.
because they're afraid of infection, they wanna make sure everything's cleared out and all that, and,
Well, you just watch that.
You
Nick's
bet.
he's just bringing me along to
yeah,
for the
no
next,
problem, yeah.
for the next.
Hopefully we
citizen.
won't have to stop, huh?
Put it by the fence. I'll take it over there. Next game. Thank you.
Yeah, the thing you notice right away after surgery is like the pain is gone. You roll over, in bed in the hospital bed, it's like, oh, that doesn't hurt
It doesn't-
anymore.
yeah.
That was the first time, both of them, as you notice, it's like, I can live with the pain of the surgery because now I don't have the pain of
Yeah,
the
the
hurt,
pain.
yeah.
Well, it's probably been about 15, maybe 15, maybe a little longer years that, my dad had his first one done, but he had a massive heart attack. And they did quadruple bypass. And this was in October, it's been 5 or 6 years ago. And they, put did four bypass, 4 new veins. And he could have had a 5th one, but the 5th one, they couldn't find a vein to match up to it. So they just did 4. Well then, that was a pretty long recovery. It took him a while to kind of get back after that, and, but then, so that was in October. Well, then he just kind of got so stinking ornery. And finally, like Kurt and Corey and my mom and I said, okay,
What is it?
we've gotta
Yeah.
have a little intervention with
Yeah.
Mama, because we can't, he's ornery, he was never like that.
Yeah,
And he was, ornery with the kids and all of that, and, finally my mom said, Ron, what's going on? Well, come to find out, his other hip was really bothering him.
yeah,
And he just said, I couldn't do it, after having, heart surgery, and he said, I did not wanna go back in and have another surgery, so I was just putting up with it. And so then he was able to get in and get his hip replaced, and then he was back to normal, but he was just in so much pain
yeah.
and didn't wanna go
Yeah.
right back in for surgery.
I know, I saw Dr. Pedri in January before we left for Arizona, and so we were gone for 2 months, and I had an appointment to see him again after I got back, just to kind of check up on the other hip, and just to make sure, it hadn't gotten any worse and all that, so it was good to know with the CT scan and with the blood work, at least it's not getting any worse yet. But now it's on his radar, it's on my radar, I was kind of the same way. I told Chemist, if he tells me he's gotta do it right after we got back from Arizona, so I don't know if I'm mentally ready to go
Yeah.
into surgery again,
Yeah.
and so I was glad to find out that, at least it's gonna be a few months or more
Right.
if I have to have it done. But yeah, I was the same way, I was like, I just don't know if I'm mentally ready to do that again.
Well, I've been blessed, knock on wood, I don't have any joint issues or anything like that yet.
Boy, the thing I'm starting to feel is, I'm assuming it's arthritis, the stiffness in the morning, and that kind of thing, and
Mhm.
hands and fingers and wrists, and, yeah, and so, I don't know if it's sign of things to come, right, and it comes and goes, like this
Yeah.
morning, we were doing yoga, and I was like, man, I'm just so stiff, I can't, everything kind of ached, all the joints ached, and Yeah, it's weird, and, you know, that's maybe about once a week or so it hits me like that, but I'm thinking, gosh, if this is the sign of things to come.
I don't want that to
Yeah, I
happen.
don't know if I'm on board.
I don't know if you ever met, Dr. Hunter's dad,
No,
Steve.
yeah,
He worked for us at Pomeranke for about 11 years. And I remember him saying that,
Oh,
wow,
Nice.
he's blocked some good,
Yeah.
he's done some good blocks.
great seeing.
I don't know. You wanna see it?
Yeah, well, of course, he may not have good numbers. Who is the goalie, is that Jared?
yes, I think so.
Okay, sophomore, wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's a good player. He's blocked quite a few.
There's your, Dr. Hunter, is that,
Yeah, and I remember Steve, every morning he'd say, I have to take 2 leave in the morning every day, otherwise I'm just stiff.
yeah,
My joints ache and,
that's one thing when, before I had my hip surgery, you know, I was taking ibuprofen, Aleve, Dr. Petrie gave me some anti-inflammatories, and, you know, it's good to be off of those now, and on occasion, like this morning I did, after we did yoga, I took some ibuprofen, because, you know, I'm gonna be up walking and moving around, I really don't wanna look any older than I am out there, stumbling around.
yeah, that is the one thing that I'm starting to notice is my hands are sore in the joints, and my fingers are starting to get, we used to tease
Yeah.
my mom all the time because when my
Right.
mom would point like this,
Yeah.
the tip of her finger,
Yeah.
you know, so we could say,
And-
oh, this direction, or,
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening to me and my mother, I remember noticing. And it's worse on my right hand, and that used to be my stance hand in football, so I don't know if that had something to do with it, but, yeah, I've got 2 fingers that are just really
arthritis, yeah.
getting crooked. And one here I broke, I was coaching football, and I was trying to show a kid how to catch a punt, and the ball hit me square on the pinky, and out it went, and went over to Cornell, was the trainer there, fix me. He
Tape
popped
it up.
Yeah, popped it back into place and taped it, yeah, it doesn't look like it's back into place anymore, but. It's been a pretty well played game.
Yeah, it has.
Wonder what's going over. Who's over at the girls' game? Do you know? Is Lorraine over there?
I think it is, let's see. I'm pretty sure it's Lorraine.
Okay, I'll try to see her.
Let's see. I think it's Lorraine and Shauna.
Okay, let's see if we can. Get a score.
Lorraine and Shauna, let's see this. Yeah, they haven't spent a lot of time down here at this
No.
end of the field, but,
And the wind's not that much of a factor.
but,
Usually in the afternoon, that's pretty much the case because of the wind. But not so much this morning.
Kim said it was really windy yesterday.
Yeah, it was. It was not as windy as it was last Friday for the track meet though. Man, I tell you, it was howling. It blew so hard, it blew a soccer goal over during the track meet.
Really?
Lucky we didn't kill somebody, yeah.
Wow,
With the sandbags on it and all, blew it over.
really?
Yeah, the West End one. We were doing the 100-meter dash, I was at the start line, kinda looked out the corner of my eye and I just saw this soccer goal go plunk.
Wow.
Okay, I'm glad nobody was standing there.
wind's been horrible lately.
Yeah, that last stretch, was it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it was just terrible. Sunday. My dad's old house, my parents' old house in Denver, who I inherited, and my oldest son bought it, so he's renting it out down there.
Oh,
And there was a tree, had to be, I remember when I was like 7 or 8 years old, so it had to be maybe 60 years old, big old, evergreen spruce type thing. The wind down there Saturday blew it over.
really?
And lucky it fell away from the house.
Yeah.
Cause he's got some renters in there. And yeah, so they're talking about 100-mile-an-hour gusts in the Denver area.
Gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that tree, it had to be at least 60 years old, I bet, maybe more. Oh,
Deflected it.
yep. I think they're gonna be set a goalie for the next couple of years.
Yeah, he's doing.
He's a good keeper.
Yeah.
How old is the kid on the varsity team? Is he a senior, junior? Do you know?
He's a senior. He's Atkinson's son.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he is a senior.
that's
Yeah,
right, okay.
Seth
So yeah,
Atkinson.
he'll
Yeah.
have 2 years.
So yeah, he can move right up to that position.
Yeah, it's him, and then it's Jared, and there's another one named Fernando, but he's out right now.
On the varsity team?
No, he's right there
Oh,
sitting
okay.
down. The one in the yellow.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
I remember when Casey and Ashley Willoughby and Ryan Stasnos and 2 other little girls, they were 4 years old and didn't have a coach, so I started coaching them in soccer. Well, I played with them or coached them all the way up until they were in U10. Well, they didn't have, for some reason, a U12 division, enough girls to have a U12 division. So our girls had to play with the U14 girls. Well, 10-year-olds are a lot smaller than the girls that are 14. And I remember telling Casey wanted to be the goalie, and so I was just scared to death. Those girls were so much bigger than her, and this girl dribbled down and kicked the ball, and it hit Casey square in the face.
You heard the splat, huh?
Oh, and there was blood everywhere. We had to clean up the grass.
Yeah.
I felt so bad. I was like, oh my gosh.
Our granddaughters play for Real Club in Denver, and they have like 2 or 3 women on the Olympic team.
Mm-hmm.
Really a very high level of competition, and they always play up. So if they're they're playing under 10, they put them into the under 11 or under 12. So they're always playing up for better competition. And I'm the same way. So, our granddaughter, the oldest one's not very big anyway. And when those girls start going through their growth spurt,
Yeah.
there's like this much
Yes,
difference between some
exactly.
of them,
Yeah.
And she's just a little peanut. She's fast, but she's not very big. Okay, I'm gonna go down for halftime. We'll be back 10 minutes and
10
start
minutes?
it. Yep.
Okay, all right.
How many minutes are there? 6? Yeah.
Yeah, 6.
Oh, none of them have scored.
doing a great job.
Yeah, he's pretty good.